Today we're going to talk about another nobody. Well, somebody who was willing to take a secondary position, and that of Barsabbas. So, Barsabbas, I'm not talking about Barnabas or Barabbas, but Barsabbas. His full name was Joseph Barsabbas, but was also known as Justus. Now, do you remember that time when the 11 apostles wanted to fill the vacancy to round it up to the group of the 12 again, and two men were selected. Barsabbas and Matthias were chosen by the 120 disciples who were gathered in the upper room just after the ascension of Jesus. The text says that the congregation prayed, turned the matter over to the Lord by casting lots, and Matthias was chosen to replace Judas Iscariot. The account in Acts 1:26 actually reads from the Good News Bible. Then they drew lots to choose between the two men, and the one chosen was Matthias, who was added to the group of 11 apostles. What were the qualifications to be one of the apostles, the 12? The person must have been with Jesus since his baptism, witnessed his resurrection, and until the day of his ascension. Undoubtedly, many of the 120 men or women filled that description. These two men were equally qualified, and that's the point. The process was open, public, and immediate. There was no backroom manipulation, no gathering of supporters. We want to be known as people who are living with the Lord. Let me show you what I mean. Acts 4 verse 13 describes, the members of the council were amazed when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, for they could see that they were ordinary men with no special training in the scriptures. They also recognized them as men who had been with Jesus. Well, we could even put that in the present tense, I suppose. Jesus was with the men. So, do we actively feel that way, that the Lord is with us? Now, in this transition period between the Ascension and Pentecost, it was difficult for the disciples to drop the old traditional way of seeking God's leading by casting lots. There are a number of references we could make here: Joshua 14:2, 1 Samuel 14:41, Nehemiah 10, and so on. But perhaps you felt the need, like many others, of time to break with past religious thinking and traditional ways. You've been brought up in a set of beliefs, and now it's the time, God's time, to reveal to yourself, to you, the new living way of the Christ. But the fact is, not being chosen can hurt. But what if we're not picked and God is the one choosing? Barsabbas is everyone who is turned down. 1 Corinthians 12:27 is a comfort as we read these verses. That's from verse 27, 1 Corinthians 12. It just shows the variety that we cannot all be prominent. Now you are Christ's body and individually members of it, and God has appointed in the church first apostles, then prophets, then teachers, then miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, administrations, various kinds of tongues. All are not apostles, are they? All are not prophets, are they? All are not teachers, are they? All are not workers of miracles, are they? And all do not have gifts of healings, do they? All do not speak with tongues, do they? All do not interpret, do they? He really emphasizes the point here and concludes by saying, but earnestly desire the greater gifts, and I show you a more excellent way. And then he describes the excellency of the pathway of love. So, it is comforting for every justice among us, such a passage, that not all can be pastors and possessors of the same gifts, but all are members of the same body and all have a valuable function to play in that body. So, not being chosen does not mean that you are a failure or a reject. We're precious in God's eyes, and although we may have a second position or third or fourth among a group, it matters little. To Christ we are relevant. He died for us. Thank you, brothers.